Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. We're gonna talk about cartoons, I guess, HBO Max, how that might affect Crunchyroll, because WarnerMedia has just announced that they're going to massively reshuffle the HBO Max team to get ready for the future, whatever that holds, getting rid of a bunch of people, and Crunchyroll is not mentioned at all in these plans, which is very interesting. We've been talking, for a while now about the possibility of Crunchyroll getting absorbed into HBO Max or even getting sold off. There have been rumors that Crunchyroll was potentially going to get sold off, and we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Hazbin Hotel. I didn't think it really warranted its own video, but I thought it was pretty interesting that it did get picked up for a streaming service. Who knows? Maybe it'll be HBO Max. A24 has picked it up, but Twitter's not happy about it. They wanted a hashtag better cartoon, and they got one, and it's not the one they wanted. So before we get into it real quick, guys, we do have a mini crowdfunder going for a Clownfish TV enamel pin. We've got less than a week on this yet. You can check it out at shopclownfish.com. When they're gone, they are gone. So I think I'm going to go with Hazbin Hotel first. Let's talk about that first, because this is pretty interesting. We have been talking about, in fact, we're going to be talking about in a later video, about the shift in entertainment to independent studios, independent production houses. That we might be seeing more entertainment exist outside of the Hollywood system because of the pandemic. That we're going to see more and more entertainment come from other places other than LA, New York, San Francisco, Portland. And Hazbin Hotel has been a huge hit on YouTube, and it did get picked up. It did get a series greenlit, which is pretty interesting. So A24, the independent distributor and production company known for art house hits like Uncut Gems, Lady Bird, and Moonlight, announced this afternoon it will produce a series based on the online pilot for Hazbin Hotel. Hazbin Hotel creator Vivian Medrano launched the pilot on her YouTube channel last October, and it has been viewed over 41 million times since its launch. She spoke with Cartoon Brew last year about how she built her online YouTube presence, which has her channel has 3.6 million subscribers. This is kind of the way things are going to go, I think, in the future. I don't think, we saw with that hashtag better cartoon, when people were upset about Ren and Stimpy getting picked up, that's not going to work, but just putting some stills out on Twitter is not going to work. But if you can actually produce a pilot or something yourself and, get attention for it and rack up the views, they may come find you. But not everybody's happy about it. I put this out there. What happened to hashtag better cartoon? So this is some serious salt. Everybody was talking about how there were so many better cartoons that could be produced besides Ren and Stimpy and Beavis and Butthead getting reboots. Hazbin Hotel gets picked up, and it's salt. Salt, salt, salt. Think everyone who let this happen should be put in federal prison. Okay, we hit rock bottom for real. 2020 literally cannot get any worse. One pandemic at a time, please. Pathetic. Yeah, so we actually have an independent animator break out of the bucket. The crab got out of the bucket, and we can't have that. And this is part of the problem with, I guess, having a committee of your peers, vetting your projects through your quote-unquote peers. And we ran into this a lot with webcomics too, where everybody got along fine as long as everybody was equal. But that's not how the real world works. Some people are just going to pull ahead. Absolutely. So HBO Max has been pretty cool when it comes to adult animation. We saw that they did Close Enough. They actually sent us a box for Close Enough. That was pretty cool. It's one of the most interesting things we've gotten here at Clownfish TV. And they've been pushing hard into animation. A lot of Hollywood studios are, because the shutdown. You can actually do animated series, whereas you can't get people on set to do the live action stuff because of social distancing and all that jazz. But HBO Max is having a major reorganization. Now, we've been hearing rumors and we've been speculating that maybe Crunchyroll will get gone, and there does seem to be some supporting evidence of that. We brought this article up multiple times This is coming from the Information. Now, the Information actually called it that there was going to be a shakeup at WarnerMedia today. They called it earlier in the day. This is a subscription site. You have to pay for it. It is a B2B, business-to-business site, but the word on the street was that AT&T tried to sell off Crunchyroll before the pandemic, because AT&T, which owns WarnerMedia, is in a massive, massive amount of debt. And it seems like they're going back to this whole streamlining thing, that they want to focus all of their efforts on HBO Max, and they're chopping heads at the top. I have to wonder if we're going to see the end of individual streaming sites for DC. I know DC Universe or whatever, they've talked about getting rid of that. If we'll see the end of Verve, if we'll see the end of Rooster Teeth first, because Rooster Teeth seems to be hoard out right now to go do content for other studios. But this reorganization is the first of many changes to come to WarnerMedia. It's going to be pretty brutal, because AT&T is in a massive amount of debt. They've said before that their goal is to pare everything down to move forward and actually be profitable, and they've just owned way too much stuff, and a lot of it's redundant. So WarnerMedia undergoes major reorganization as HBO Max gets higher priority. CEO says it's vital that we act boldly and with urgency. Two of WarnerMedia's top executives, Bob Greenblatt and Kevin Riley, are leaving the company as CEO Jason Kilar begins to plan the company's future with a tighter focus on HBO Max. Well, maybe they should get HBO Max on Amazon Fire TV and Roku. That would be a pretty good start, because it's really irritating. I can't watch it on any of the 4 TVs in our house. So Greenblatt oversaw all of the company's direct-to-consumer lines and oversaw WarnerMedia as a whole. Riley was WarnerMedia's content chief. He also served as president of TBS, TNT, and True TV. As part of the shakeup, Andy Forsell, a former Hulu exec who worked alongside Kilar at the streaming company now owned by Disney, will oversee all of HBO Max. All of HBO Max. So Kilar sent a letter out to everybody at HBO, and he said he emphasized priority around the company's new streaming product, HBO Max. That's also what led to the reorganization. Kilar explained in the letter that in order for WarnerMedia to succeed in a rapidly shifting industry, one that is shifting to a streaming-focused audience, it is vital that we change how we are organized, that we simplify, and that we act boldly and with urgency. He said, because of the gift that is the internet, we have what I believe is one of the greatest opportunities in the history of media, which is to deliver our beloved stories and experiences directly to hundreds of millions of consumers across the globe. The pandemic's economic pressures and acceleration of direct-to-consumer streaming adoption places an even higher premium on these points. Kilar outlined the 5 steps WarnerMedia is taking to accomplish his goal of turning HBO Max into a bigger product. They include: we are elevating HBO Max in the organization and expanding its scope globally. We are simplifying how we organize our studios. Simplifying how they organize studios. Guys, I'm telling you, something's gonna happen to Crunchyroll. I'm telling you. We are creating a consolidated international unit focused on scale and efficiency. We are bringing our key commercial activities into one group to allow us to operate more strategically. We are making other structural changes that will help us operate more effectively and efficiency. Basically, blah, blah, blah. We're going to save money. We're going to focus everything on HBO Max. We're going to streamline. We're going to downsize. Everything is going into HBO Max, which we've been telling you guys for a while. And I really do think that we are going to see the end of a lot of Warner's separate streaming media platforms, possibly including Crunchyroll, because it's not a good use of resources to spread yourself too thin. If you're going to build up HBO Max, if that is your flagship product, then you're going to cut loose some of the stuff that's going to hold that back. And plus, it's redundant. Why do you need 5 different teams running different streaming services when you can basically funnel everything into one app? And it sounds like that's what they're going to do. Meeting the goals above means we will be reducing the size of our teams, our layers, and our overall workforce, Kilar wrote, acknowledging this is a lot to take in. That might be especially true for the team, considering Kalar just joined 90 days ago. There's nothing in here about Crunchyroll. I could be completely wrong. You know, we've been talking about it for a while, but everything I have heard is that once HBO Max was going to launch, that everything Warner, everything that Warner owned, Cartoon, all that stuff, it was Cartoon Network and Rooster Teeth and everything, it was all going to HBO Max. And this seems to indicate that that is where everything is going. That's what they're betting on. They're putting all their eggs in that basket, and they damn well better get it on Fire TV and Roku, because right now they're missing like 70 or 80% of consumers. They even mentioned that in this article. It said it doesn't help that HBO Max's launch lineup was hindered by the pandemic, and not being on the two most popular streaming devices, Fire or Roku, likely had a significant impact on signups. No shit. HBO Max faced general consumer confusion over what the product was. Is it HBO Now? Is it HBO Go? Is it HBO Max? They do need to streamline. Just be like, it's HBO Max. That's it. HBO is our TV network. HBO Max is our online network, our streaming service. That is it. Literally, that is it. So yeah, and he goes on in the letter. I was reading the whole thing, and he basically said, you know, it's no reflection on people if we get rid of them. It's just that we are streamlining everything. And I'm telling you guys, they're going to take a good look at Crunchyroll and be like, do we really need to have a separate streaming service for anime? Or can we just put that content over on HBO Max? I mean, they're already moving some of the more popular titles over to HBO Max, but then there's talk again that they were going to sell the whole thing off. So who knows? Maybe they'll sell it off to somebody else and they'll just license that content. But as you're going to see in another video we're doing, they've got ridiculously expensive offices. They've got a lot of people working at Crunchyroll that I don't know if they really need that many people, to be honest. I'm like, how many people does it really take to run Crunchyroll? I don't know, but they seem like they have dozens of people working there in San Francisco, which is very expensive. And this sounds like nothing is sacred. Nothing is safe. And, you know, going back to, you know, DC Comics even. DC Comics, I don't think is safe. There's been talk about, you know, Warner just shutting down DC as a publisher and outsourcing the superheroes to another company. I think that's possible. I guess whichever comic book publishers are still standing after the pandemic. And they're selling off the games division. You know, we talked about this a month or two ago, that AT&T was going to sell off Warner Gaming, and I guarantee you Warner Gaming makes more money than Crunchyroll, makes more money than DC Comics, and they were hoping to fetch about $4 billion for it, but they don't even want to be bothered with gaming. I mean, again, they're streamlining everything to focus on HBO Max, and we're starting to see that now. So it's going to be really interesting to see where things go. I hope, however they reorganize, that HBO Max still produces a lot of original animated series. It's great to see Adventure Time back. It's been good to see some of the other stuff they're picking up. They're actually picking up Tuca and Birdie from Adult Swim. Not a huge fan of the show, but it's good to see that they are willing to take chances on that kind of content, or at least were. We'll see what happens. I'm going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.